Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to GG Speedruns and our current 8-bit No Out of Bounds New Game Messenger Tournament. Tonight we have a wonderful, wonderful matchup with SpaceNarc going up against Yeriko, two veterans of the game, both of them very, very good runners. Narc, I believe, actually is relatively new to the 30X Club, so he's definitely been improving his game coming into this. Yeriko has been around the game for a long time, currently about a 32 and a half approximately. So really all set. And this match could really go either way. I mean, with the messenger being the way it is, it definitely could go one way or the other. One mistake, obviously, as everyone knows within this particular game, is a huge decider. Some RNG points, but really it comes down to the players and doing their best as they go through it. So we should be getting ready to go very, very shortly here. We'll be just keeping an eye out for the countdown there. But I want to welcome you all here. If you are not familiar with this game, wonderful, wonderful little homage to games like Ninja Gaiden, but also a wonderful and very well put together Metroidvania. The speedrun is loaded with tricks. We're going to try to keep up with them as much as I can, and we'll go with that. So looks like we're getting some ready checks going on within the setup here, and I believe we got the countdown going on right now. So here we go. Yeriko seems to be a little behind. Let's make sure. Okay, so we got about a 3-second disparity here. Not a big deal. We're going to go ahead and start off in Ninja Village. It's a beautiful, beautiful sunrise. Actually, I think it's more like a sunset at this particular case, but our lone ninja hero here has to go attend school, and he's not too happy about it, but he decides it's probably worth going once in a while. This opening stage is full of tricks, frame perfect stuff. They've got to hit some triple frame perfect stuff here. If they don't do it, it basically should just be Reset City. So this is why you get to see this place a lot. And I'm already seeing, you know, just people are kind of opting for some of the more safer things here. I guess the one thing I'm not seeing is any like super curse strats per se. Looks like everyone at least has stayed away from Narga and some of the things that, you know, potentially they could do, like, you know, not using lanterns. So it looks like they've gone through the hard part of the Ninja Village. It looks like everyone's going well, except for, you know, the ninjas who can't seem to dodge fireballs. And we're going to say hello to our evil bad guy that we won't see beyond this particular one, but we're going to keep an eye out for how many wonderful shards these ninjas are going to get, and how well it's going to slow them down depending on the number that they get. We're going to get a slight synchronization here. Thank you, Dino, for that. I see one on Narc and none for Yeriko. So we're going to get some very fast Autumn Hills action out of these ninjas, as they are not going to be weighed down by excess shards. Oh boy, that is a low count. That's not something you necessarily want to see. There is a specific amount of shards that both of these runners will be looking for by the time they reach their first shop, but they're professionals. They know what they're doing. They know how to get there. All right, so just kidding. That was really just a tutorial stage, kind of teaching you the movement, basic kind of like instruction. No frame perfect tricks here. Everyone should be coming out of there very easily. The one thing that could vary here, though, is this very first capture. This guy is, he's a monster. He's a beast, and we'll see if anyone wants to take a piece of him. Both of them opting to just slap him on the back and move on. This is actually a bit of movement tech called the turtle boost, or T-boosting, which, you know, done perfectly. You get, you know, very small amount of time frame, but every little bit helps and adds up for sure. You have to be very careful about doing it, because if you do it incorrectly, it can kind of pull you in towards it rather than bounce you away from it. So kind of negate exactly what you're going for here. Both ninjas gonna be good on shards, both having to take a little visit to the wall. That's kind of unfortunate. You want to get to that jump at 34, you can grab those 6 and then hop in, or even less if you're really all about it. But I would imagine everyone in race format would be all about just getting all of those shards just to add that extra buffer for future stuff here. So they buy their first upgrade of the run, which allows them to slash these projectiles, and by doing so allows you to do cloud stepping, and I didn't really touch on that, but Ninja has the ability, if he slaps something in the air with his sword, he gets this additional jump. So it's kind of like getting a double jump, but it's only predicated on being able to hit things to actually do that. We'll see. Everyone's got their right thoughts on. Narc easily getting the spike boost properly and heads to the right. Both going for the wood format, and Yeri also getting it. So good. We're on equal footing, at least going through right now. We've got Yeriko kind of trailing just a little behind Narc right at the moment, but that's not a significant amount. I wouldn't be stressing that right at the moment. It's just minor movement errors at this point. That's really kind of adding up. But and again, one major mistake could completely flip the table here. We're gonna see as we go through this water here. I don't think we're gonna see anyone doing belt boost. I'm not sure about Yeriko strats because it's been a long time since I've seen them run. But I believe Narc likes to take it nice and safe. No, he's gonna go through the saw blade at least, and then keep an eye on him. I'll be curious to see what kind of spike power he goes for. Narc tends to go with this odd strat of hugging. Nope, looks like he's opting out for the more traditional spike tower. Good on him. Easily makes it, so gets a little bit of time save there for sure. Now we'll just check and make sure Yeriko will be okay. Oh, misses the projectile. That's unfortunate. Has to take the swim. Not a huge time loss, but certainly is a couple of seconds there over what Narc got. So bring him down a little bit more, but again, both having relatively solid autumn hills in general. So this opening stage, it's not the most complicated, but there are a lot of tricks, a lot of things that you can do to save time. And obviously if you're missing them, it's going to add up, and it becomes just one of those stages that will kind of burn you down. You want to get here at least sub 6, or at least a very low 6 would be where you'd want to be. And right now it looks like Narc's at least on a good pace with it. Yeri's not too far behind. Let's see if we can get there we go, much cleaner on Yeri's side, getting up there on that swing skip. So misses the back slap, so stunt jump unfortunately missed by both runners in this particular point, but that'll at least keep things relatively even. Good grub boost on Narc's side over there, so taking a little bit of a damage buff just to kind of move him forward just a little bit more than the standard movement, and then adding that last little kappa slap there just to get that little extra little boost. So right on the heels of each other. Yuri's only about maybe, I don't know, let's say about 6-7 seconds behind. Well, a bit more. He's about 2 screens behind at this point. So Narc will be popping in to get his next shot, and then we're going to run into our very first boss of the run. So everyone take a bow for Mr. Leaf Golem. We'll see if anyone's crazy enough to go for any scary berries. I would not think so. Race format, that's a pretty sketchy trick to go in for. But one cycle for sure, definitely going to do that. So waiting on the shuriken throws properly for Narc. Gets them in there. The DPS is good, and we have Leaf Golem down on Narc's side. Really good Autumn Hill start for Narc. He's off to the races right now. Keep an eye on Yuri here as Narc goes through his transition. Oh, even better. With that position, I wonder, does anyone know if Yuri is a V-Sync user? Those leaves were pretty far away by comparison to people who don't have V-Sync off, and certainly can make a difference. So. All right, we go through the hardest stage of the game right now, everyone. Well, see, so we're going to get an additional lag frame coming from Yuri taking the save point there. Narc opted to not do it. It's a very hard stage. Actually, very impossible to save time in that stage. We've all confirmed that. But now we're going to head on into the catacombs. And everyone just say hi and bye to Mr. Necro. He's the cutest guy around, but unfortunately, I didn't see much of him. Yeah, question of the ages. Are they fast, or are they using V-Sync? That is the real question indeed. All right, first little gauntlet room here with Narc. Easily handle it using the shuriken technique to take care of the skeleton off to the right. And Narc going for butt boost. Let's go. Oof, yes, and he makes it. That's a good time save there. Dr. Z there. See how the gauntlet goes for Mr. Yuri. Okay. Had to go back for that bat for a second there, but nothing too terrible. And also opted to go for butt boost, unfortunately getting the knockback. So wondering if maybe they didn't reset the game, or they were doing some practice beforehand. If you reset the game, it should be pretty guaranteed as long as you're swimming properly there. And it did, fortunately did not bounce them to the right. So they're going to have to take a little damage there. Unfortunately, not too scary. Dying after missing that isn't too much of a worry, and they got through just fine, made it to the next checkpoint. I think I've been joined by somebody.
Yeah, you have.
Hello there.
Just wanted to wait in there for a second. Shafe joining Nori on comms. Nori, I saw that you were riding this one solo. Thought I would come in and help out.
Yeah, you're saving me. I ramble a lot.
That makes both of us, so don't worry. You'll have plenty of downtime. All right. So, as you were mentioning off the top of the broadcast, about a minute and a half difference in the PBs between the two runners, but plenty of opportunity for things to go sideways for either one. We've seen a bunch of lead changes throughout the course of this tournament, some matches stolen as a result of deaths in Tower of Time. Even some of the RNG elements coming in between Colossus and the boss of this area, Ruxton. So plenty of opportunity for either runner really to come in and take a pretty significant advantage at any point or another. Even Quillshroom, you know, if you got race nerves going on, the wingsuit attack gets away from you a little bit and ends up hitting some spikes. It can get pretty scary. So Donkadonk missed by Yeri, unfortunately, right-hand side of your screen. That is going to be the classic meme 8-second time loss. But that's alright. He looks like he's putting a fairly favorable pattern out of the Wizard Robes there, able to clean it up nicely with a couple shuriken throws. And he's going to be on the way through. No balls of steel for SpaceNarc. Left side of your screen does get the cycle, though, at the top of this room. And we'll now move on down to 3 HP at this point. Shouldn't be a terribly big deal. As heading in towards Ruxton very, very shortly. Get your high Ruxtons in chat. Hopefully we get RNG equal on both sides so that this comes down to more of a skill-based performance between the runners. But for Yuri's point of view, definitely looking to have Space get a low Ruxton here, and that is what happens. Let's see how SpaceNarc handles that. Gets the slash into the jump off there, left side, slashing out Ruxton a couple times. Gets the shuriken throw as well to prevent the fireball attack, and then nicely up onto the platform and finishes it up top. Very well handled low Ruxton from SpaceNarc.
Yeah, right now the tail of the tape here is that, you know, SpaceNarc did actually get the Badonkadonk, so we do have that advantage here. We'll see if Ruxton tries to help balance the scales a little bit on Yuri's side. If he goes high, at least, you know, there'll be a little bit of a swing back into Yuri's favor, but, you know, Narc already done with the particular fight. Moving on to Bamboo Creek, everyone within the community's favorite stage, mainly because of Chinese food. Would be the main reason for it. We also do get that high Ruxton on Yuri's side, so as long as we can clean it up here, should be a decent enough. Oh, okay, not quite enough for the mid-platform kill. Missed it by a couple, but still very well done. No major catastrophes there, and still will make up just a little bit of ground.
Yeah, definitely good to see that from Yuri's perspective, to try and catch up a little bit of time there, as he is now starting a Bamboo Creek. Of course, we have the famed BC-11 coming up with the about 17 different ways that you can handle skipping the elevator. We'll see which one Narc goes for. Ooh, does get bonked twice there, actually, by the birds. Does lose a little bit of time to the side jump there, and also a little bit scary on the HP. Does clean up the jump off the bird on that one. Has to mind whether or not he gets stabbed by our Mr. Ghostface Killa, and does get through onto the checkpoint. Just has to dodge that fireball, and he is good. That's the checkpoint now. 3 HP for the tree room, however, can be a little bit spooky. Let's see how he handles it. Takes the top lantern into the fireballs, playing it safe to make sure it doesn't get anywhere near the spikes, and collects the refill on the way down. Opportunity for Yuri to catch up a little bit of time here if this room goes cleanly for him, and yes, so it does, as he is on through. We'll focus on the left side of your screen, however, now, as here comes the do skip into the one tile. Very nicely done from SpaceNarc. You can tell he's had that in the practice room quite a bit.
He's quite the N2 enjoyer, so definitely went for it, got it. Very nicely done. A lot of people have been struggling with this room off and on throughout the tournament, and not any strat is necessarily free.
Yuri took damage on the spikes, didn't quite get the tree skip off the wall. He will be safe collecting that health refill, but that was a spooky moment on Yuri's side for sure.
Yeah, that room has killed a number of people throughout this tournament. It's probably the most deadly room of the tournament so far, so good on him to be able to not panic and then be able to recover that and not lose the time, obviously, to a very costly death. Also trying to set up N2, and unfortunately didn't quite get the projectile to start it off. We'll now be taking the elevator, so, you know, again, the meme, like you said, 8 seconds lost now versus 8 seconds saved. does get up the
Everything
elevator.
either saves or loses 8 seconds. That's just how speedrunning goes.
That's just it. Everything is 8 seconds in this game, no matter how small or big it looks.
Alright, so we will be coming up on the Howling Grotto now for SpaceNarc. Going to be picking up the wingsuit attack as well as the dash, and of course the wingsuit itself. You're going to see a lot of tech involved with that throughout the rest of this run, using the wingsuit attack effectively as a pogo strat. It can be a little bit difficult to navigate when you're first learning the game, but of course you have veterans here who are used to double tapping that jump to trigger the wingsuit and get the pogo, and we will see whether or not we get what I'm going to call, what was it? Was it Kuni that was falling into this? No, it wasn't Kuni, it was somebody else. Ah, damn it, I can't remember now. Doesn't matter. There is, in that weave room, very easy to, just kind of mistime your movement a little bit and take damage off the spikes, and that always makes things a little bit spooky. It does take one hit off the stalactite there, but it will be okay with the refill.
Godfall is a big scary one. I mean, obviously you can try to go for it, but there's a couple of weird factors with the game. Sometimes your input doesn't work. The fall itself is kind of jank in general, so respect anyone who goes for it, but definitely respect anyone who taps that wingsuit just to make sure that they don't get it. Nice DK skip on Narc's side there. Very clean. Looked like he could fit about 2.5 inches in that gap there, so extremely well executed on that one. No danger at all as he's going to plug on through here. We're about to see what kind of, in a few rooms, we're going to see what kind of yeet he's going to opt for here. I don't know that Narc necessarily has ever gone for God Yeet.
It might be something he's been working on in the practice room lately.
Exactly. We'll find out shortly. So far, clean and safe enough in regards to all of these rooms so far. This is actually one of the first stages I feel that like an unfortunate death can happen. You lose a moment of concentration, or you just kind of make one fumble and then your muscle memory takes over, and next thing you know you're just eating a bunch of spikes. It adds up really quick, and a lot of this particular stage running around with probably 3 health just on average.
Yeah, it puts you into one-shot territory in a lot of different areas, that's for sure. We are getting DK skip here from Yeriko, whose movement wasn't quite as clean as he would have wanted to be on those wraparound jumps tight to the corner. That's alright, he does do the damage boost strat off the cap to save just a little bit of time and try and catch up to SpaceNarc. Going through the water here, or past some of the lower water sections on the way to his yeet in the very near future. As SpaceNarc is going to be beginning the Emerald Golem fight. Reminder that the winner of this match will go on to face Alpha in the next round, and the loser will be into the lower bracket, double elimination bracket, of course. So if you get eliminated here, you are not eliminated from the tournament itself. Extra shuriken into the wall from Narc, actually there, accidentally kind of just fumbled the inputs a little bit, but got the count in, was able to count to 7, which is very important. We'll do so once again here. Does take a hit off of that orb flying down. Had to be careful managing the fists of the golem, but does get up there cleanly enough. Should have the 2 HP into the second phase of the fight with the flying orb. Allows him an opportunity to face tank a little bit. And of course, orb can fly anywhere. Can cause some time loss. It looks like he is going to get a high pattern here. That's okay. He did manage to clean that up very quickly.
Yeah, as much as you want to be lower on the screen at kill, to get it that quick actually kind of negates that. So well played on him. 2 HP is a little scary if things go awry with that fight. 2 HP is not something that you're going to be overly comfortable with. So well handled by Narc on that. And again, we definitely were noting the count and the extra shuriken there. That wall knew what it did, by the way.
Like, knew exactly what it was doing.
Yeah.
It was hungry for shurikens, and it wasn't going to take no for an answer.
Exactly.
It seems we have a little bit of an issue with Yeri's stream at the moment. Hopefully that comes back soon, so we'll just focus on Narc for the time being, who is into Quillshroom Marsh, and is going to be holding right for an extended period of time. In fact, for most of this stage. And it's kind of, in a way, I would argue, Nori, a bit of a kind of relaxing stage after a lot of the sort of tumultuous up and down, left, right kind of movement that you do in Grotto. You pretty much just get to hold right on your controller or on your keyboard and slash a bunch of lanterns, and you don't really have anything too obnoxious coming at you until the Queen of Quills fight.
Yeah, this is really kind of, I mean, it varies from runner to runner. Most people enjoy slapping kappas these days. You know, trying to just, I guess the big thing is you obviously just want to keep your feet out of the peanut butter. That stuff really slows you down. But as you say, like this long room that Narc is in is the longest horizontal room in the entire game. Has 2 checkpoints. Most people don't even opt for the second one. So like Narc here, he's going to challenge it. And if anything does go wrong, he will be back to the farthest left-hand side of that room. And that will be very unfortunate if it does. So we'll hope for the best here. And navigating it just fine. But like you say, it's really kind of a relaxed. There's not too much scary tech that has to happen here. A couple of rooms can obviously go very awry. One infamous one is coming up relatively soon. We're going to see how well the cycle goes for Narc, and if he can squeeze through on the faster cycle, if he's going to opt maybe the little left-hand side of the moving platform. We'll worry about that when we get there. And it does look like we did indeed lose Yeriko's stream, so hopefully Yeriko will be able to get that figured out and back shortly.
We'll keep an eye on the Discord for any updates. As of yet, we do not have any word from what has occurred on Yeriko's side. So we'll keep you updated as we are updated. In the meantime, you get to see SpaceNarc splits. And you can see that he is 2.9 seconds behind PB pace. So putting on a very solid run here so far, making sure that he does what he needs to do in order to try and close this out. It does take 3 hits off of those spinning spikes. Yeah, it did end up, unfortunately, getting some of his lunch money stolen. Well, that's all right. He's through it. Does get a checkpoint refill, and is now going to be dropping down on his way very shortly to the Queen of Quills fight. Shard count looking pretty good, setting up for Craig's and the rope dart and all that good stuff. So it's just a matter here of last few rooms of execution for Yeriko, and then we will see whether or not he's going to be getting some extra whips or, you know, left or right side favorable patterns with Queen of Quills. Only time and we'll tell very, very shortly.
This is an important thing to get the DPS just right so that you don't overdo it, but don't underdo either. There's a lot safer ways than I go for it. I know I kind of take it the extremely hard way, but so far Narc looks like he's managed the fight very well. Keeps her on the low ring, so doesn't necessarily go for the bounce on the top of her head like that. And this looks really solid. Oh, just a little short on the DPS at the end there. Did save himself 1 shuriken just in case this did occur, but yeah, I got a set of whips there, so that'll be a few seconds down the drain, but overall, still extremely solid fight. And as things go, I'd rather see whips than seeds. So
yeah, no kidding, right?
But well done by Narc in general there. Again, he is going to lose time to his PB because I know for a fact his PB is whipless. So
yeah, I do have Yeriko's stream back up on the side. It looks like his stream went down. He's only got 4 minutes on his timer right now, but it hasn't seemed to slow him down. He is currently in Quill's room, approaching the Queen of Quills fight himself, just in the room before that, grabbing the checkpoint right now. So we will be looking to get him back very shortly on the right-hand side of your screen so that you can watch the action all alongside it. In the meantime, I'll provide you with the blind commentary. He gets right side pattern first, gets nice up onto the rings to get the knockdown as a trap in the corner. 1 wingsuit attack, misses the second, and the Queen will jump up onto the second ring. Favorably for him, jumps right back down. Will get a couple extra whips in here, losing some seconds, but DPS is looking solid. Has her trapped in the middle. Oh, she jumps up, and yeah, he's good. He's got the DPS in to walk to the right, throw the shuriken, and get the kill down. That happening at about 21:53 on his timer.
Good news for Yeriko, because early crags right now for Narc not going very smooth. This might be a little bit of display of race nerves there, but missed the rising platform a couple of times and then had a little trouble getting set up to get on the right-hand side of that spike room. Was able to finally get there and is now kind of like flowing in there, but definitely did spend a little bit of time getting through there, which, again, if Yeriko is not too far behind, that'll help keep things really tight, where one major mistake could still swing the balance of this particular race.
Yeah, definitely Narc isn't out of the woods just yet. You can see he lost a fair amount of time there in Coltram compared to his PB, about 8 seconds or so. Yeah, so didn't go quite how he wanted. Of course, the Queen of Quills kind of being sort of the linchpin of that time loss, but a little bit of spaghetti there as well, but that's okay. Still performing well, as you said, under the race environment. Does get the drop down on someone, very nicely done. Looking for the teleport here, and does get it executed perfectly. And will we go left or right? We're going to be going right. Ooh, whiffs
Narc's
up on
been
the
working on that.
So.
Yep. Yeah, I knew Narc's been working on that particular one. Just missed getting the projectile to get the refresh cloud step to get up there. It was really close though, so kudos on the attempt. Certainly respect on that, and he was able to at least turn it into a decent left side. And now goes into RNG boss number 3. Colossus.
Yeah.
These two can do a lot of things. A boulder right out of the gate, obviously one of the best things that you do want to see here. So he's going to try to take advantage of that. And ideally, if he can get this DPS right, he will take out our green fellow friend here. Gets him up off screen and does actually kill him. You can tell by the puffs of smoke. Unfortunately, though, going to get a people's elbow. So a little bit of a time waster because it's really hard to get the DPS in there. Does a fairly good job of getting some hits, though, because you just usually get bounced around whenever that attack is going on. So well handled on that particular one. It's going to get another boulder, which is actually relatively good. So he should be closing this fight out relatively quick. So really well done by Narc with that RNG pattern. Maybe not the most ideal, but definitely well handled with what he was given.
Hey, yeah, that happening right around the 24:01 mark for him. So we'll get you a updated Delta compared to Yeri once we have that lined up for you. He did miss the teleport, unfortunately, in the rooms. Just heading up, trying to go up the left side right now is Yuri. Again, looking to try and get him back on screen for you here as shortly as we can. Takes some damage off the fireballs, having a little bit of trouble navigating that particular room, but will clean it up and heads into the checkpoint room right before Colossus and Seuss. I'll tell you how the RNG ends up going for him. He is going to be entering this fight probably at least, I would say, a minute behind where was SpaceNarc. Does get Boulder off the top though, so he's able to do a lot of DPS here to Orange Boy in the early going, getting the iframes through to the other side. Doesn't quite get the kill on there. Now Green Boy is down on the ground and gives him the loincloth slap. Not too bad. Allows him to continue rope darting in and attacking, and it looks like Orangey is going to be down very shortly. We're going to get the swap straight back into green. And in the belly, here come the attacks, and a very good RNG pattern here for Yuri. He does get a boulder, though, as the fight is closed out, so he's got to wait for that animation to finish, and will be ending the fight about 1 minute and 41 seconds behind SpaceNarc time.
Nice, that's our known gap there. Meanwhile, Dark obviously zooming with that rope dart through Glacial Peak right now. It's a little cold. The ninja doesn't have any sleeves, so I don't want to spend too long out here, obviously, but doing a really good job with navigating all of these rooms so far. There hasn't been any major hiccups, just some minor little bits here and there, but for the most part, this has been an extremely solid climb coming out of Narc, which I'm used to expecting. We should see if he goes for our second teleport. Misses the one tile there, unfortunately, but immediately just goes right to the bounce pad, so no major. There we go. And live splice achieved. So Narc getting both of our teleports. He's not cheating, so to explain that trick for anyone not aware, kind of a weird thing with this game. So if you slash and then like right within that time frame, like a frame or two, you also launch the rope dart. You do an attack on what you're going through. It's more than just the rope dart attack. And in certain spots, there's like another monster sprite that actually spawns in right as you're doing that. And when you kill the first one, it's like, well, I need to finish this animation, but there's nothing for me to do it on because you've already killed it. It jumps you to that spawning in sprite, and then you finish your animation. So that's how you're able to skip, a little bit. It's a common used one here. And when I was running this 3 years ago, the one in Crags was kind of just being discovered. And then I kind of moved on to other projects at that point. So, it's good to see that a lot of players have gotten really comfortable with that in the time frame, even myself finally having time to practice it. Yeah, that's basically how that trick works. Saves you a really good time, and it's really good to go.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's a little bit difficult to learn, but once you do, the consistency is there pretty much, most of the time. So, SpaceNarc currently in Tower of Time, Tower of Time Loss, Tower of Trauma, Tower of Tortillas,
whatever. Oh, Narc almost getting Hail Mary, but got a little hung up on some kicks there and couldn't quite have enough time on iframes to get that last laser. So we'll have to take it, respect going for it. Almost well done there. Almost made it. And then we're going to keep moving here as that goes. We got an update on where Yuri is.
Yeah, Yuri is in a glacial, looking to try and eke back whatever time it is that he can. He's currently going for that teleport, but was not confident in his movement, so he ended up bailing on it and did lose a couple seconds, obviously, versus getting the teleport, but the quick decision-making, they like to see it from Yeriko, and he's continuing up the climb now and will just be walking his way towards the tower entrance.
Mark's playing a little scary on the HP side here in Tower. Tower's definitely taking its pound of flesh from him as he's going through here. He's had a couple of scary moments with the Whiz Robes. This is probably where they really shine as an enemy in the game. And unfortunately, no random HP drops, so we're going to get just the standard laser handling coming up here. No French connection, no laser skipping. He's just going to take it nice and slow, a little vacation as we take a climb there. But first, got to get that itch out of his eyeball with that spike there.
Yeah, oh my god. Alright, so as you mentioned, he's not going to be worrying about those lasers. The tower time animation, long as it is, still playing out for Yuri. He is entering now TOT at 29:20. We'll look to get a delta. I'll find a room here to give you a bit of a difference in terms of where the runners are at. We'll mark that one as a 29:24 for SpaceNarc. As Yuri is beginning his Tower of Time, currently going to be heading up to the Hail Mary room. Will he go or will he not? The answer is no. He's going to play it safe. He's going to wait for the platform to start navigating its way and taking a couple shots off the Whiz Rope to get through the lasers. But oh, he mistimes his jump up over and takes a death to the lasers. That is something that Yuri could not afford at this juncture in the race. That does send him back to the very beginning of Tower of Time, as well as on 3 HP.
Mark doing the scary laser skip, not dos ojos. God, I cannot talk today. In that room, so gets through the Wizrobe room, the very deadly Wizrobe room on 1 HP. Really wasn't even kind of scared there. Everything was really well spaced for him. Then goes with kind of the safer crystal abuse as well by using the rope dart. A lot more consistent in regards to the normal strat there. So Ark will be doing his final ascension up the laser room here. We'll see if he's going to opt for laser skip or if he's going to take the nice safe platform and only lose a couple of seconds. In the race format, don't blame him. Certainly respect. Yeah, take that platform, get into the fight with full HP. And then we shall see how his Arcane Golem goes. And it looks like we got Yuri back, so yay.
Yeah, he unfortunately just took another death in that room right there. He wanted to play that last laser aggressively, knew that he needed to try and make up time. So you respect the aggressive play, but unfortunately he took another death in the 3 seconds at the beginning. So we would need a couple deaths at this point on Narc's side in order for there to be any chance for Yuri, and I highly doubt that's going to be happening. From a runner of Narc's caliber. It does take 1 damage off of the orbs, but resets to the left side of the Arcane Golem's head. And is now stuck in the middle, only a couple slashes away. There it is, 31-28 for SpaceNarc, as he's going to be taking game 1 over Yuri, and that is about 40-ish seconds behind his PB, so not too bad.
Yeah, very solid run from Narc there. Basically got what he was going for or had the ability to even try for. So, again, very solid run and been very consistent. These are about the times that he's been putting up in even the community races that we do between matches and everything. Everyone likes to get together, and do a lot of races. And oh, that was scary, Yuri. Oh, didn't quite get the rope dart where it wanted to. Bounced off and nearly took a dip in that laser down below. Managed to save it. So Cooney Room not claiming a victim today.
If he did end up taking a death to that, we would have had to call that death the scary area.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe I just saw things, but I swear that I just saw that shuriken take out the eyeball and hit the switch at the same time.
I did not notice that. Decides to go and play with those blocks a little bit, waiting for the spikes to drop down. No harm, no foul. I'm going to be climbing up the right side of this wall into the rope dart room, and he threw. No, not through. Actually, ended up hitting the ledge just before that rope dart thingy there, and took a death to the laser, and has decided that he is done. I think with this race,
and it's going to forfeit this particular race and not continue it. I understand that, at the point, I think you just brush that one off. You just take a moment, you breathe, you let it go, and then you go into your next race fresh and start it over again and everything. So respect on that particular one. Good run by Yuri. For what we could see of it, was unfortunate. We had some technical difficulties there. Hopefully we'll be straight moving forward and get ready for our second match. So we'll see if they want to take a quick break or if we're going to dive right in.
Yuri's ready to go, so we'll see whether or not Narc wants to. And Narc wants to, so we're going to jump right back into game number 2, zero break. Just get the players reset on their timers and get them all, readied up and so on and so forth. Reset the game if they so desire. Did not see Yeriko for that. Looks like Narc isn't either, so going to be dealing with some different RNG seeds, but at least it's going to be even on that front.
Yeah, I'd say at least butt boost in Catacombs would be off the table at that point, unless they have another setup that they go with in order to guarantee that particular one. This also could have some impact on the spike in Autumn Hills, the spike boost there. So we'll see how this plays out, since neither one decided to completely reset their game here. We're getting ready to dive into the next one. Again, for anyone here just tuning in, this is a best of 3 match. SpaceNarc versus Yeriko, and right now Narc has the lead 1-0 with a very solid run of a 31:43. Didn't quite catch the time specifically, but
yeah, it was about that 31:42, I think. Yeah, I do like Gary's name, Dropstrem.
Dropstrem, yeah.
And,
naming of the file is such a good thing within the community. It's so fun.
I love it. It's so good. All right, looks like Yuri's about ready to go, just taking a bit of a stretch, and timer is now reset. Again, the winner of this one is going to be going to face Alpha in round 2 of the winner's bracket. The other runner will be knocked down into the lower bracket. Let's see if I can quickly spot where that is going to be. Looks like they're going to be facing Fabix in the lower bracket.
That's not an easy one either.
No.
It'll be interesting.
I mean, is there an easy one?
You know what? I mean, there's so many talented runners in this community, and also joining the tournament. I mean, we nearly filled out a 32-person one completely. 30 people participating in this particular one. So it's great to see the new faces as well as all of the old returning ones too. And there's certainly some faces missed, obviously, but we're having fun regardless. And it's been really, really great just to have everyone back together again after, it's been a couple of years since we've been able to organize something like this. And again, big shout out to Mr. Dino and DG Speedruns for helping to host this. It's been a blast as always to work with them, and they always put on a quality production. So
for sure, and of course Dino is downplaying his own abilities.
Cursed stress from SpaceNarc. How dare you?
Oh no!
How dare you? Not using the lanterns. Look at this man. Who is he? I don't know him anymore.
All right, shard game. What do we get for shards? That is the question.
Hopefully more than the one that was last time. I mean, we made for really fast Autumn Hills. No one was weighed down by the extra weight of too many time shards.
Looks like Narc got 0. Yari got 2 for sure.
Yeah, Narc's been, I think, like me, he's been cursed on very bad shard luck in Ninja Village. So,
well, the problem is that he didn't go for the lanterns.
Yeah, it might be the game punishing him for using those cursed Narga strats. Who knows? But I guess we'll see how it plays out. I mean, maybe advantage SpaceNarc. He doesn't have that additional weight.
Yeah, moving a little more aerodynamic ninja.
Exactly.
All right, Ninja Village burnt to a crisp, and we are off to the Tower of Time once again, carrying the Scroll of Destiny, I suppose. I don't remember what it was called in game. And yeah, runners are synced. Everything is good to go. And
hardest enemy in the game coming up. We'll see what they have to do.
Right.
Both of them slapping them in the back, giving them a little like, hey, encouragement. You've done a good job, and moving on.
Yeah. As a hey, good job.
Good job.
Protect the Autumn Hills.
Right.
Yeah, you do it.
We believe in you, Kappa. You'll make it to Ninja Village someday.
Someday. Not today, but someday.
Not today, but someday.
Just a little bit of cleaner movement from Narc here in the early going. Nothing too major. Nice drop down from both runners, both hitting the 41 shard mark, entering the
first having a dip to the right-hand side, which is a little bit of a time loss and unfortunate, but RNG being what it is. So.
Yep, and at least they both had to do it, right? So
yep. We're fair and we're even right now. In the initial start.
In the initial RNG seeding. Again, they did not reset their games, so speaking of RNG, we will have to examine very closely how the spike boost ends up going off of the platform, coming up in short order. And Narc should get there first, and gets knocked left, but gets onto the platform immediately. And Yeri gets knocked to the right, and just like that, we are back to even on the first instance of RNG in Autumn Hills.
Yeah, Narc's going to get a little bit of extra shards for that, but is, like you say, it's made this race very even again. So, it's just how this game works. You take your chances in whatever happens in a race format and have a swing. And I'd like to see it remain this close this time. So let's see how their swimming goes. And again, I know Narc is a big fan of at least damage boosting through the saw blade. So we'll see if it sets up. But it's interesting because I think what he does is a PB strat is where he hugs the blue cap up top and tries to go over the tower that way. But in races, he opts to go. Well, he's really close to that saw blade. Holy cow!
Just making sure the ninja has a haircut. That's all.
Yep. And both actually taking the same route here, so we're actually going to be even on this front.
Alright, up for SpaceNarc off the tower. Yeri does take a bit of damage. Shouldn't really be a big problem in Autumn Hills, but racers being what they are, could still end up having an impact. You want more Messenger content, by the way. Our next match is scheduled for Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time. That'll be 11 Eastern. Fruity Waffles versus Jangle Storm, and then Monday we're going to have a slate of matches as well. Cooney's going to be going up against Roll Jutsu at 13:30 Eastern, and at hour and a half after that, it's going to be Grandius and Flash.
Some really, really good races coming up there. I'll be commentating on the Jangle Storm one on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to those other races that you just mentioned because they're going to be really, really good.
All right, so you can see the movement kind of making the difference here in the early going. About half a room separation or so.
Yeah, Narc getting that stump jump obviously does help a little bit. So it is just little minor things that are adding up over time, but both of them still having a really, really solid Autumn Hills. There's been no real danger point here at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
I do mean Yango, yes, Snoopy.
Looks like Yeri shard count maybe just a little bit on the low side.
Yeah, it's a little tight, but should still have more than enough. There's a big arc of them here. 130 is all you need at the shop, so more than enough. Narc can go and buy a Maserati at this point. I mean, he's got money for days. Yeah.
All right, so will we get Scary Berry or will we not? I don't think we will for either of these runners, but could be surprised.
As far as I know, I don't think either one of these are Scary Berry enjoyers, so we'll probably see very standard Leaf Golem fights here.
Yeah, just walking up to him, doing the slashes, throwing in the shuriken, standing right in the face. I had to duck there right at the end as the projectile was coming back, but he's all right. Yeri's starting to fight now as well, staying down on the ground, throwing the shurikens. And it does get a buzz cut from the leafy projectile. We're be heading now.
Yes, so good. The leaves are way further away from what you see of most of the runners getting. So.
Forlorn Temple, the hardest stage in the game. The jump program as dictated by some of the members of Ninja Village. Very hard to do, but the SpaceNarc is through it cleanly. It gets the drop down smoothly into the catacombs, and we will begin cycle combs for what it's worth. A lot of these crusher cycles pretty important in terms of making sure that you keep up to your opponents or extend your lead if you are SpaceNarc. So clean movement, definitely the name of the game in this stage, as it is throughout the entire run, of course. But, ooh, gets a little bit of sticky ninja up there on the crusher, but he's fine, drops down. And we'll get the first of the Ruxton cutscenes. A little bit of movement hiccups there from Yeri. Will he get through the crusher? Yes, he is fine. As he enters the cutscene now as well. On the left side of your screen, Narc is going to be dropping down butt boost or no butt boost. If he's got the setup based on the no reset, right?
Yep,
yeah,
yep. Yeah, and smartly opts out too. It's unless you know a different setup for that. If you don't reset your game, you're likely to not get butt boost. So wise to just go ahead and take it normal. I think it was kind of a first try. Yuri though did go for it, and again, unfortunately, taking the wrong bounce and opts to not challenge the crusher there. Probably smart. This is a very dangerous stage because this is really where first deaths tend to occur more often than not. So there's just a lot of pitfalls, a lot of spikes, a lot of crushers, and one misstep, and it obviously can cost you. So
I feel called out right now, Nori. I feel called out right now. Taking deaths in catacombs.
Deaths in catacombs, though, it's never happened. No, it happens to me all the time in practice. So believe me, it's a thing that can occur, and I've yet to have a deathless run in the tournament. Period. Even the previous ones.
You know what? I believe in you. It's coming up for you, sir.
Soon. Hashtag soon.
Hashtag soon. No cutie crusher from either runner, by the way. Just going to go for the natural movement in through there. Not getting the right side climb into the health potion there, as expected from SpaceNarc, will be caught up in somewhat short order by Yeri. Looks like about a 20-second time difference. We'll see whether or not Badonkadonk claims a victim. And it looks like Narc is through.
Again, so yeah, both races, Narc nailing out Donkadonk without any trouble there. Really clean catacombs coming out of Narc tonight here. We'll see if Yuri can at least mitigate that time. Ooh, careful with the spikes. Like, yeah, you want to take spike damage, but you don't want to do it that early.
No, and in the room just prior to that, he actually ended up dropping down to the spikes. Had iframes from damage that he had taken just a second before. But a scary moment when you see the iframes flashing and you're not sure if you're going to get out in time, but did manage to make it through, so he's doing okay. This is the room I'm talking about on Yuri's side right now. Does have full HP for the initial spike boost, and is through Balls of Steel room, entered by Narc at 924, get you a more exact delta off the basis of that. In short order, as we're going to be coming up on Ruxton. We did see disparity in the Ruxtons in the last run. Narc got the low, and it's about a 13-second difference between the runners, by the way. Narc got a low, and Yeri got a high, and that 13-second difference, as alluded to, can be made up for quite significantly. If Narc once again gets a low and Yeri gets a high, we could end up seeing this come back to close to even, and it is low. Narc gets double low.
That's unfortunate RNG, but he knows how to handle it. Ooh, that was a really close pressure skip on Yuri's side. That just enough space to be able to make it work out. Yeah, unfortunately, I wish I'd have been taking statistics this whole tournament to see like how many lows we've had versus highs. Well played, Mark, though. Still managed it well. Got the upper platform kill without too much hassle there. I mean, we get enough low Ruxtons, kind of have that unlocked just as well as you get the high there. And a high for Yuri. So, hey, again, he's playing favorites tonight. Ruxton is favoring Yuri heavily and giving that high one. It looks like we're going to get another low kill, though, on that end. Only a couple of extra hits. But still really close race. Again, anything can happen at this point as Art goes into the vacation level, Bamboo Creek, and the infamous BC11 coming up.
Yeah, Narc's been playing, in my estimation here, pretty consistently overall. Has had a couple moments where it looks like he's, had to fight back some nerves, but has been able to lock it down pretty quickly here. Yeri, to his credit, pretty much the same, other than some of the tower time shenanigans, which can happen to any runner in game number 1. But the rest of the stages for him have looked very clean as well. So it's looking a little bit like he's going to need a couple mistakes from Narc, which don't seem all that likely, but he fails that wraparound jump off the bird again, actually. So just shutting me up with the words coming out of my mouth.
Very curse.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the kind of thing that Yeri needs from Narc, is just, you know, a couple little hiccups in there, here and there. Nothing major either. He's been keeping this really close. Has had a couple of moments of RNG in his favor with the Autumn Hill spike boosts and, of course, Ruxton. But, you know, even if you take those out, he's probably within about 20-25 seconds of Narc. So he's definitely putting the pressure on and playing very well.
Indeed, especially with BC11 going on right now. We'll see exactly what happens here now. And you're talking about Narc and his consistency. Narc is a huge fan of racing, and he prefers to race more than actually just do runs. And it's funny that if he actually does win this and ends up against Alpha, that was his old racing buddy back in the day. So when we were all running this game 3 years ago, him and Alpha were very equal. In times, obviously now, you know, times have changed and Alpha's moved on and gotten a lot stronger times than Narc, who's moved on to other projects. But, you know, it'll be a return to kind of old hat for those two racing against each other if Narc actually does pull out the win here. And again, gets N2, no problem here. Looks like we're taking an elevator again on Yuri's side. So unfortunately not getting the N2 skip here for both. That's going to add a little bit of extra time between the two racers at this point. But again, I believe in Yuri. Yuri is a veteran and definitely will make their time up as able.
What's really impressed me about Yuri's play is his decision making on that kind of thing, right? Where if he misses a trick, he does not waste any time. He doesn't let it get in his head. He just goes for the backup, and it's immediate. There's no hesitation on it. He doesn't second guess the decision at all. He just goes for the backup and then continues playing, and it's a sign of a very strong race aim mindset from Yuri, and you like to see it. SpaceNarc, in the meantime, has entered Howling Grotto, has the wingsuit attack, the boost, and the pogo. Does get the extra boost off the pogo this time off the skeleton. Did not get that in the first match, and so you'd like to see that he's got that cleaned up here. Does the wingsuit into the Godweave room. Does not quite go for it. Just tapping a little bit on the wingsuit there at the end. Playing it a little bit safe. Does have 1 HP of damage to his name, so definitely don't blame him for that, as we are now in Grotto as well on Yeriko's side.
For sure. Spike damage in general just makes you instantly take a sharp breath. At least it does for me, because it hurts. It's 3 points of damage, and you've only got 5 at this point, so it starts to get a little bit scary here. We're going to go into DK room from Narc's side to see if he goes here. He's definitely going for the setup based on what I'm seeing here initially. See what the bounce on the saw will do for him. That looks good. And yeah, you could fit 2 ninjas to that gap. No problem. Easy, easy, easy. DK skip from Narc's side, basically playing on the clinic there as he damages boost. Damage boost is through the Kappa to just, you know, save a little bit of time there instead of taking the pushback. So we navigate very, very well so far. We'll keep an eye on what happens with Yuri here. Yuri's coming up, getting close to the DK room. See what they will do on that side.
Yeah, drop it down to 1 HP there after the damage boost itself. A little bit scary, but did get the pogo off of the Kappa and up into the health drop, so he was okay. Gets through the Yeet room at 14:54. DK skip room entered approximately at the same time by Yuri. Did not get this in race number 1. Movement looks a little bit cleaner this time. This was going to be close. He goes for it and does squeeze through, getting a little bit of a back scratcher there, but he does get the DK skip. And you'll like to see it from Yuri's side, pulling out the aggression, going for the big boy strats, and is making sure that he keeps this as tight as possible against his opponent, who has been playing very, very well indeed.
Yeah, and Emerald Golem can actually swing that. Any bad thing that happens with Emerald Golem can cost a lot of time. Ooh, Narc fumbling a little bit in the Wizroad room there. Took a little bit of damage, more of a time loss, and maybe a little hit to the pride rather than, you know, anything major there. But gets through it, and hopefully he still remembers how to count to 7. And maybe this time the wall won't deserve a shuriken as well. But see how this goes as we keep an eye on it here. And as long as you manage this first part, it shouldn't be too terrible. If you have to go to a round 3, that gets a little questionable on your HP. So as long as he does counting right, no chances on the shuriken that time. He decided to throw it a little bit earlier just to make sure, and he definitely wanted to make sure he was going the right way there.
Yeah, the wall wasn't hungry this time either.
Wall wasn't hungry, yep. Good damage there. Damage is boost on his way out, so he'll go into the second phase here. Looks like very solidly. Probably no shoulder pads here. And 2 HP. Oh, a little bit of shoulder pads. surprised. I thought he got more damage than that when I saw it. Keep an eye on the second phase because it can go awry sometimes, and if the orb gets away, that could be trouble. But Narc's like, nope, not today. Good middle range kill, good speed on it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's he got left side both times and handled it both very well. Even got that one a little bit lower than he did in game number 1. Yuri, in the meantime, going to be starting the Emerald Golem fight right side of your screen on full HP, gets the damage boost through. Remembers how to count to 7, which is 1, 2, 4, 7, I believe. Does throw 2 shurikens in there because he knew that he counted to 6 instead. So again, more heads up from Yeriko, getting the damage in on the first cycle, and now wants to move in on the second cycle. Playing it patient, I kind of like that as well. Knew that he was at risk of taking damage, which he does, and so he didn't go for the damage boost through the glove of the Emerald Golem, and it ends up paying off that decision-making for him. Yeri is in the middle on the Golem now, does get enough damage, again, just a little bit on the shoulder pads, and we'll see whether or not the floaty pattern ends up being beneficial to Yeri as well. Does not opt to go for the face tank strats. Does take 1 hit, has to play it a little bit more careful now. Is going to lose a little bit of time here, floating up. Yep, alright, there he gets the kill, plays it safe, and it doesn't take a death, which is the most important thing probably. Going to be about 1 minute and 15 seconds behind Narc at this point. And that just goes to show you, runners were about 20-ish seconds heading into Grotto. And now Narc's gained about 1 minute on the basis of the movement of Grotto. So consistency is definitely paying off for Narc here in the first half of this run.
Yeah, but I really respect Yeriko's decision there on the damage management in the first phase. Going into that second phase with a little bit of cushion probably saved a bigger catastrophe in the overall scheme, by doing that. And even though that orb got away and things got a little scary there, it probably was still the exact right call to make there. And rather than taking the death in the second phase, which is way more detrimental, it'll keep him within shouting distance of Narc, and Narc could still make one critical error, and suddenly we're back to a very close match.
Yeah, and all it takes is one, especially in Tower of Time, you take a death there, this minute and change lead evaporates, immediately. Or the unforeseen death in Quillshroom too, right? Because you're skipping checkpoints here, you are sent back a long way if you end up making a catastrophic mistake here. So,
indeed.
Definitely a lot of opportunity here for Yeriko to get back into this one.
Narc, unfortunately, the shurikens got away from him on that one. Had to, instead of using the grass cutter strat, actually he had to go and smack that switch, and didn't obviously have it for the end of the room either. Not sure what happened there. I was kind of watching fight. Oh no, Yuri taking a death in Quillshroom, speaking of, in the right room as well. That's unfortunate. That's going to set them back quite a ways. That spike ball swing is quite the enemy. And if you're maybe a little off in movement, that ball is not where you expect it to be, and that thing does 3 points of damage, and it looks like Yuri unfortunately did catch that.
Yeah, he ended up taking a couple erroneous hits off of just some of the enemies going through, and like you say, he was down to 3 HP. Played it aggressive as he has been doing so far in this race. Would you like to see? He knows he's got his work cut out for him, so he's playing hard. Unfortunately, it just kind of got away from him a little bit there.
Speaking of letting get away, Narc unfortunately missing the opener with Queen of Quills, got a little bit of seed action going on there. And now has her in the corner where he wants her, but that will definitely add a little bit of time, and I believe we're probably going to see some whips here, especially with that damage. So unfortunate for Narc, this fight isn't going to go exactly the way you would want to. This could give Yuri at least a little bit of help in recovering some time here, as long as that Queen of Quills fight goes smooth for them.
Mm-hmm. It's a 20-41 shuriken kill from Narc, so I'll get you a more exact delta as Yeriko finishes off his fight not too far away from the Queen of Quills at this point. A couple more rooms. Gets the shuriken strat off of the Kappa kill into the switch activation as Narc is entering. Craig's on the left side, going to be picking up his rope dart and doing the famed rope dart everything tech. If you are within range of something to rope dart it, you should rope dart it, is basically the idea.
The important part is being in range.
Right?
I die a lot to not being in range when trying to rope dart everything, and I rope dart nothing, and then well, that's happened. So,
well, you know what? I'm here to provide you with the gamer pro tips. So,
I appreciate that. I will make a note of that for my future endeavors.
All right. So we got the weights into the lantern onto the right side climb. No damage taken from Narc. Does not quite get the ledge grab that he was looking for, unfortunately, though, and is into the rings room now and up the wall as Yeriko is going to be approaching the Queen of Quills fight in probably about 20 or so, I think.
Yeah, he's only 2 rooms away.
Ooh, a little bit of spaghetti here from Narc off of that that one, what is it, the ananas spike boost that he was trying to do there?
Yeah, it looked like it just didn't quite get the way he wanted to. Did the backup, though, just fine. Unfortunately, again, just minor things are going to start to add up here. It's a little bit of time loss, and as more and more of those occur, it opens a little bit more opportunity for Yuri. Everything goes smooth on their end. See how the Queen of Quills fight goes.
Yeah, the Queen fight's going very well for him so far.
Just missed the knockback, though. A little off on the timing of the shuriken there. We'll get some whips for that, unfortunate. Just you have a very small window to knock off that ring where you actually get the stun damage, and just missed it. Did have a shuriken to at least get the right side kill, so saves at least the time of running. Well, to get the additional cutscene here, because of the death that did occur before this fight. So adds a little bit more injury to that particular one, but overall still very well done.
Still within striking distance, roughly 2 minutes behind, a little shy of that. As he is entering Craig's now. SpaceNarc is going to be starting the Collins and Zeus's fight third, probably major point of RNG. As far as bosses go, between the runners, it looked like Narc had a little bit worse RNG than Yuri in the last race, but things setting up okay here to start. Let's get the fast switch, however.
Fast tag up, for sure. I get a boulder, so not too punished in regards. You did miss some early damage there at the beginning of the fight when you get up there. It's really tight window as well and can definitely happen, but right now getting a pattern slow like that could help. I think missed some DPS there at the end too by accidentally going through our green friend there, and yeah, that's at least getting a boulder again, so no team attacks yet. Hopefully we can avoid that.
Looking fairly solid, yep. That's 23:57 on the kill there for that.
Decent pattern for Narc to save that. That could have gone a lot worse than it did.
Yeah, definitely could have. Yuri's Craig's, in the meantime, has been overall looking pretty good. Has just had a couple ledges get away from him, but otherwise has been playing really solid. Accidental rope dart for the extra spike kill. Maybe he wanted to just get some revenge for something that happened in a previous run, going after that spike. But he is up through the room cleaner than what Narc did on that one, who ended up taking the right side of that room. And he's now entering, speaking of, the peak.
Double please in chat, everyone, for Glacial.
Yeah. This is the vertical of all vertical stages, essentially, in the 8-bit run. You do get some of it in Craig's, but basically as the game progresses, you kind of go from like more horizontal stages to more vertical stages, and so Craig's is sort of your introduction to, extended vertical climbing, and then Peaks is like, oh, so you know how to climb? Okay, here's a big climb for you.
Well handled on that particular one. I love that room. It's one of my favorite rooms to navigate in Craig, or in Glacial. Is just straight up, and you just don't stop. It feels so good to do that. And I love the movement at this particular point of the game, and I think the music kind of helps spur that too. Like, it's a very upbeat music. And shout out to Rainbow Dragon Eyes, who composed the soundtrack for this game. Just everything fits so well, and you're going fast with this rope dart. You've got things that you can go on and just non-stop. And it's really funny because this actual stage, you wouldn't know it by watching any of these runners. There's ice physics going on in this stage, but you just won't know it.
Well, you don't touch the ice. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah, if you're on it, you're already running, and it doesn't really impact you. As long as you don't need to make any sudden turns, you're good. So it's great to have an ice stage, which every platformer speedrunner hates in general, and just go, I don't care about your ice physics. I'm completely ignoring it. We're gonna go.
Yeah, from a game design perspective, honestly, really interesting that Sabotage did that, where they gave you effectively the option to completely ignore the ice physics. And I love that about the sort of mindset of Sabotage generally, as well as the hilarious writing of this video game.
Oh, for sure.
Colossus and Zeus is beginning on the right side for Yeriko. Looks like he's almost... I didn't quite see a smoke there, whether or not he got Greeny Boy down.
He did. Yeah, definitely did, for sure. We're going to get
people's
a
elbow,
unfortunately. Yep. Try to play it safe. We are a little low on HP. This is actually... Ooh, that was scary. Oh, yeah, this play can go wrong, and a people's elbow is the last thing you want to see when you're at low HP. Fortunately, weathers the storm, gets through it, and we have a 26-48 kill on the twins.
Separation there is about 250. Give or take 1 second. So, SpaceNarc definitely in control of the race at this point. Yeriko needs Tower of Time to go absolutely sideways for Narc. Narc can take a couple deaths here, and it can happen, but yeah, Narc would have to take a couple deaths. He does go for Hail Mary, as we saw in the first race, which immediately is scary as all get out. So you're going to see it in just a moment after this crystal transition heading up into the Hail Mary room. If he is watching and decides to play it safe, we will find out. Nope, that's, yep. Oh, yep, nope, holds off on the very end of it. He knew that had a bit of a hiccup on one of the rope darts, and so he waits it out instead of trying to play aggressive and take the death, which heads up play from him, but will lose a little bit of time as a result of going for that trick. In the meantime, Yeriko is 4 HP, did decide to play those spikes carefully, did take it down from the fireball by the looks, but otherwise is through that just fine. Having a little bit of trouble getting the jump slash off that green cap, but does execute it about 3rd try, and into the lantern and up off to the bounce pad in the next room has a mysterious stranger looking to stab him with a scythe, as he's going to be running away. And 1 health in the whiz robes here, avoids the projectile, does space and is through, but not out of the woods yet. It does get the checkpoint, of course, but down to 3 HP in Tower of Time, you are effectively at instant death range pretty much the entire way. Yeah. Spooky.
Narc, the whiz robes were definitely trying to do their part, and the one thing that we don't like about them is that they tend to like to get right in your way. You want to go somewhere, and they just go, you know what, I'm going to go there before you. And on 1 HP, as Narc was, that could spell disaster. Fortunately, was had enough space to squeeze in there, was well managed by Narc in that scary, scary scenario, because that could have set him back quite a ways. But we will not be getting any laser skips or French connections again today here for Narc. No extra HP drops from the eyeballs at all. So we'll take it nice and slow, take a nice little tour here, and then rope dart climb up into our laser platform room and get ready to get the refill. We'll see what happens with the big laser swing. He's going to, again, go with the... probably won't be going for Dos Ojos, but maybe the standard particular one where it's going to get really scary at the end there. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see if where he gets to teleport. Does indeed. Well done there, and it's going to continue up to the final last little stretch. Ooh, unfortunately didn't get high enough on that platform. Had to reset the room, start it over again.
I do like to see from Yeriko, though, like, missed the teleport game 1, went for it again here, and got it. So pulling out the strats that he knows how to pull out. Still going for him, still trying to keep this race interesting. Damage boost in the meantime, left side of the screen from Yeriko. Again, down to 1 HP into a whiz robe room. Is through, however, and as you mentioned, just a matter of seeing whether or not he's going to be going for some spooky laser boost strats. Of course, this crystal transition room with the crystal abuse at the very end can just be, like, from a mindset perspective, spooky. Execution perspective, probably not too much.
Mark takes it safe with that rope dart one. It's a little bit more guaranteed, a lot less scary than the standard crystal abuse there, but time waster room not living up to its name for Narc today. Narc is not having that. And we'll be going on their final climb up here, Narc, to finish their run. Again, probably we'll just take the platform. Yep, takes it nice and safe. We'll be going into Arcane Golem as we're going to keep an eye on Yeriko and their beginning of Tower of Time as well. Ooh, that's a little slow on the lasers. Oof.
Is through though.
Did make it through without any damage.
Did not see even an attempt at Hail Mary from Yeriko in the last race, so don't anticipate going for it there. Does grab the checkpoint anyway, just in case. And yeah, he's going to wait for a little bit more of a standard play as the Arcane Golem fight is underway for Narc on the left side of your screen, looking to close this one out and face off against his old racing buddy Alpha in the second round of the winner's bracket. Is taking a fairly significant amount of damage here, actually. Loses 3 HP, not quite getting the iframes up top with that rope dart, kind of skimming the top of the Arcane Golem's head, but does close it out with a 31-24, which is, I think, like 7 seconds off of what his last race time was. So consistency showing up once again for SpaceNarc, and closing that out with a mid-31.
Yeah, the race veteran definitely showing there. Yuri did opt in the Hail Mary room to kind of take a modified, kind of smaller version of it, just damage boosting through the projectiles, and got through very cleanly on that particular regard. But again, GG's in chat for SpaceNarc, who takes this series 2-0. We're going to keep an eye. Ooh, a Levy special, unfortunately, got a little hung up on one of the kicks there and didn't quite get out of the way of the laser in time.
Just getting that laser pedicure. Still wants to go for it.
Oh, I don't blame him. I definitely would want to as well. Like, you know what? This trick is easy. This trick is free. Let's go.
All right, decides to opt out of it, but looks like he wants to close out the run and show us what it is that he is capable of, which you'd like to see. Wouldn't blame it at all for this point, you know, if you wanted to just kind of bow out. But you do also enjoy seeing a runner that just commits to finishing out the run. Either way, through the Kuni room fairly safely, doesn't go for the aggressive cycle on that, which is okay. That is difficult to get, but Hansan up there, and the drop down into the blocks, and will be pushing his way through very slowly. Again, 3 HP here, not going to see any of the fancy laser boost strats as a result of that, no health drops. And it's not over, just in case you're wondering, it is not over for Yeri. He is going to be dropping down into the lower bracket, and he's going to be facing off against Fabix 5-3-1 in the opening round of the lower bracket.
Good company to be down there. I'm in there too already. I actually need to get my match scheduled.
Well, according to Dino, you have a free one coming up against him.
That's what he says, but you know what? I mean, he booted me out of the last 8-bit tournament we had, so I'm not going to take him lightly. You know, he may try to butter me up and say that it's a free one, but I know in the background there's practice going on. I am not going to let him do it to me twice, unless, well, I mean, if I just completely choke, that's on me.
Make it interesting.
It'll be fun. I think
Yeah.
Whoever does the commentary for that, if they're listening, they know that that's a grudge match.
I like that it's a rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of laughed when I noticed that in the brackets, that it was going to turn into that situation. I'm like, wow, that's interesting.
The speedrun tournament gods are at it once again. Very nice.
What Yeriko goes for. Good job with that. Good damage boost. Got the 1 HP.
Projectile right on his butt.
Oh. Whew. That is such a scary room when you do that strat. That's my preferred strat for the room as well. And you get into the Wizard room and you're just like, oh, please don't snipe me. Please don't snipe me. And it can happen.
It can happen. Time waster room, not wasting time. Sets up on the wall and takes a little extra half second to make sure he gets that. And through on the checkpoint, laser climb, and Arcane Golem left for Yeriko. And we'll see how he performs. Stream didn't drop this time, which is good.
Yeah, I think naming it Drop Strum was the right play.
Yeah.
Internet behaved, or OBS, whatever we want to claim is kind of the culprit there.
Goes for the wingsuit float on the platform.
A little bit of swag to close it out. I approve. I 100% approve of this.
You like to see it from Yuri. Throwing out the memes just for us. Good stuff. Arcane
Game
Golem
works most of the time, right? Yeah, it works most of the time. It's so fun to see what you can do to this poor game. But
one of my favorite things back when the game first came out was GTA finding out that if you did some stuff in a shop and then pressed 6, you got invincibility.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, a little artifact of a debug thing that was happening. So,
oh, wow, that's funny.
I love it. Half of a drop down for Yeri, but managed to get a fortunate hand boost right back up into the Arcane Golem's face, down to 1 HP, but closes it out with a 36-02. GG to both runners.
Yeah, GG's in chat for Yeriko as well, and well done on them. Again, it was still anybody's race as far as I'm concerned, especially on the books. You could see, even though they had a couple of minutes apart in regards to their PBs, again, messenger being the messenger and anything can happen. Both of them showing exactly what this game can do and what they are capable of doing with this game, and you like to see it regardless. So we're going to wish good luck to Yeriko as they drop down to the second chance brackets, and of course continue good luck to Narc as he goes up against, as you say, his old racing pal, sort of Alpha. It'll be quite the homecoming for those two.
And more Messenger 8-bit tournament content coming to you Sunday. Fruity Waffles versus Jangle Storm. That is going to be happening at 11 o'clock Eastern. At 1:30 Eastern on Monday, we got Kuni versus Sue, and an hour and a half after that, it's going to be Grandius versus Flash. Until then, thank you to GG Speedruns for hosting, and my name is Shafe, Normaki on comms. Thank you very much, sir. Always fun to be on the mic with you.
Yeah, good sharing the time with you. Much appreciated. And again, thanks everyone for watching. I don't think we're going anywhere. So with that, I think we'll wish you all a wonderful, wonderful evening and catch you on Sunday for more Messenger action.